What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and we are back again for another Trove episode 300. This is so cool, man. Seriously, I have never had a series on the channel that lasted this long, so I just want to say thanks to everybody. Like, seriously, you're all in my heart. So what we're doing today is we're going to be doing a Team Pixel 1, or just Team Pixel, world tour. So this is going to be a bit of a longer episode, dudes and dudettes, just because we got a lot of new faces coming around into the series and stuff, and lots of them, you know, understandably, they're coming in the middle of the series and stuff, so they're not going to check out the old videos. Some of the more hardcore fans do actually come in the middle and say, Scythe, I checked out the older series and stuff. It's just awesome, man. Seriously, this reminds me of when I was like a fan of other Let's Players and stuff, and I'm still a fan of Let's Players, but it's like now that I just kind of do it myself. Well, anyways, without further ado, I wanted to also choose a bit of a better prize today, so we're gonna be giving away 3 chaotic butterfly wings. I figured that 3 wings would definitely be a pretty good prize for episode 300, and anything else was really starting to break into my prize pool, and I would have just ran out of prizes, but hey, we got lots of other special gifts coming soon, folks. So anyway, in order to qualify for them, you have to duke in the like button. As always, be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section down below with your username, at which point Scarlet the Spider will let you know whether you ended up winning a prize or not. So without further ado, this is the hub area. I would love to turn people's names off just so I could kind of show you all this, but there's no way that I could do that because that's the little bit of shout out that I can actually give to all of you, you know? So I want to tour the world and maybe just talk about a little bit of the progression of this series and kind of my own personal progression and growth as a person throughout all of this YouTube stuff. So anyway, this is the hub. It used to be very different and have a glowy floor, but one day I kind of wanted to remodel things. Also, now that we've got an Eye of Cthulhu under in the main floor and a bunch of tentacles and stuff, I've been working on, which I guess now is the best time as any to talk about, I've been working on season 2 of story mode, or the story that we got as far as the Trove series is concerned. You can always just go into the story mode club or type /joinworld story mode, and then you can find out that is pretty much the whole story that I created like throughout the Trove series. But as for right now, the next step, let's break a little bit of roleplay here, is that Jub has been infected by some other type of evil that's coming, and I want to try and sneak in a little bit of the Cthulhu lore and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But either way, this is the hub. Got remodeled. Signs over there for people that are starting out. And speaking of starting out, before we get to the second floors, if you actually come out here, this entrance right here, there's a noob hut, and I've made sure to put as many commands that I can remember, like even just like little stuff like this, like to enter a shadow tower portal, or to enter a shadow tower, craft a shadow portal at an adventure table, because there's lots of other tips in that house that hopefully have been very helpful for new players, because there's tons of things that this game does not explain at all, and how to get to a shadow tower is one of them, at least as far as I remember. I'm probably gonna have to start a new file just so that I can get like an updated tutorial of the beginning of the game. So anyway, down into the basement, this is where we've got our shadow tower-ness and beautifulness, and we've actually got, here's trophies of the main officers that are hanging around and stuff, you know, Crichton, Valor Warrior, myself, a Draconis costume, which is great, Joe, and Kiera, which I should remove that because she's actually gone forever. She's dead like King Andrew. We'll get into that in a bit, though. And then also over here, thanks to the real Chris, I think I'm looking at my paper, but it's not here. But anyway, we got a trophy of Fasty, who's actually one of the devs or admins or whatever you want to call it. So very, very cool. Also, we got over here is some coffee. Someone was planning on selling us a trophy of Avram, but I'm not really into buying that. Over here, we've got the pinata pit. This is where we sacrifice all the pinatas. This spot right here, I haven't actually like laid out for anything just yet, but over here, I've actually got my own personal little garden house, just, you know, my home away from home and stuff like that. So on the second floor, we've actually got all the adventure portals, and I really like the look that I got for this floor right here. I do gotta say, it feels very spacious and feels very bright and colorful. You know, that's one thing that I'm always all about. One of the reasons that I actually love Trove. So if we come up to here, On the third floor, we've actually got Team Pixel 2, 3, 4, and 5, because once upon a time, if you're just tuning into the series now, I used to own and manage Team Pixel main, which is just Team Pixel, and then Team Pixel 2 to 5, and we actually had, each of those clubs had 750 members, so since then it ended up becoming way too much for me to manage that many clubs and manage that many officers, and it was just way too much for just me to manage, so I kind of passed the torch on to a couple other people, but I left these portals around, and I check in on the clubs every now and then from time to time. And then there's also the Pinata Assassins Club right here, the Dragon Kigurumi Club right here, which is another one that I own right now, the Doge Mercenaries, which is by Magnum PI 44, the Evil Chickens, which is Superior Fan. So if you find secret things in those clubs that don't necessarily represent our whole G-rated thing, I mean, you know, let me know, because I guess we can swap those out. Hi, Mewtwo, Ian. It's been a while since I saw him. And then, of course, there is the roof up here. I just want to do a little small shout out to Swaz, who's gone too. But he actually told me, like, dude, why don't you update the roof to be like that? And it's like, yeah. And then I think Scythe laid this mag rail in once upon a time. This is like the AFK mag rail, not to be confused with the AFK tent over here, where I put a little chipmunk in here and wow, teleporting. This was also the trophy hut. V up there was actually supposed to be for victory, which incidentally, just a little bit of a short story that I've heard from people is when Japanese people do this in pictures, they're not doing the peace sign. They're actually supposed to be doing V for victory. As far as I've heard, anyways. That's what someone told me once upon a time on our Mario series. So, of course, I absolutely love Japanese and Chinese culture as a whole. So you can kind of just, I mean, obviously, right, with all the designs and stuff. Mostly I lean towards Japanese just because I very much like I grew up with anime and stuff like that. It's not that well, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So anyway, up in here, this was actually Cubesley Hunt trophy winners and stuff, and I was actually putting in, like, this guy won the Satan Slay, this guy won a Blue Manta and stuff. I was putting all of that in to kind of keep it all tracked, but then eventually I moved on to the comment of the day and stuff like that instead. And the Cubesley hunt used to actually be kind of fun for me, where I would end up hiding a bunch of Cubesleys in the club world. However, now it's just utterly impossible, because if I log in, I mean, people just follow me, right? Then there's also, I guess we'll start with the verticality before we stretch out into the side areas. The hub, of course, is the most busiest area. I did that on purpose, so it's going to take a little bit before we get to the outer areas and kind of spread ourselves out. This was King Androdo's Stairway to Heaven once upon a time when he ended up building this, and as we come up here, you can see that we're starting to get into what is with that tree. I gotta fix that. But there's this sign up here, which was one of the first things that I ever put down in Team Pixel, and it just says Team Pixel. That's kind of our Team Pixel colors as well. And down there, I kind of made our unofficial flag too. So if we come up a little bit more, you can see this was actually another early thing. This was the first thing I built in this club. Over here used to be the spawn point for Team Pixel before I knew about the alignment tools or knew anything. So I ended up kind of clearing this out and setting everything up. I built a tiny little castle down there where the new, like where the hub is right now. And then I was also building these little houses up here. This, as you can kind of see, like I really didn't know what I was doing with the building structures, that is. And you know, as I was building this out, I kind of ended up playing like Minecraft and stuff like that and gained my own personal build skill up a little bit more with all the voxel stuff. And then up there, this was actually one of my biggest builds, which I guess first we'll talk about Andrew's house. Welcome to King Andrew's house, which seems like it's been changed, because originally it said he's dead now, and we had like jokes all over the place. Lots of people for some reason kept thinking like he was actually dead, which is horrible. I would never condone ever doing anything like that in a video game to kind of honor someone. That's really, really weird and kind of twisted. So anyways, this is Bowser, the Sky Whale, and once upon a time, he didn't actually have a way to get inside his mouth, but as you can see here, I kind of laid out these areas and stuff so you can get onto all these trees, and then eventually you can come up here, and I designed this so that it works with a mount, except the lag is like horrendous on these new servers, so we're actually gonna, as you can see, we're gonna skip this entirely and skip the platforming aspect. You can jump up the clouds to actually get into Bao Bao, but instead we're just gonna take this right into his gums. And this was my first big time build in the club. And, you know, I had a lot of fun making it, and it kind of put into perspective, like, how big time builds work. So since I built this, I never had any trouble building any other big time builds or anything like that. We also have a space bear right here who's like, oh, hello, my rocket ship crashed up here. And I actually have one down on the hub that kind of references, where's my brother, you know? And we come into here and we got our mini soccer field. Never really made a proper soccer field in Team Pixel because I honestly don't care. And then we've got a bunch of cupcakes. So I actually made this first cupcake house dedicated to Joe. And then all the other officers kind of felt obligated and wanted to over time just make more and more cupcakes in here. And I would like to see a little bit more in here, but a lot of our officers have actually been quitting Trove, unfortunately. So yeah, fun fact for people that don't know, if you build a soccer field, the glowing blocks, if a soccer ball touches the glowing blocks, it will actually destroy itself and kind of explode. So that's a good way of telling whether or not you ended up getting, like, I guess a point, right? So anyway, over here you can come out of his butt. And we've got a little bit of a course set up here, which this was something that was designed, I think it was by Cubics. I forget his username. He was around a very long time ago. He was an officer once upon a time, but not so much anymore. But anyway, down here is the drop, which I almost always nail. I got pretty close there. You're trying to land into the water and you'll be able to tell if you end up falling through because, well, you can fall through. And I guess we'll talk about this area over here before we end up going into some of the hub stuff or some of the tiny town, I guess. Well, no. I guess we should do it in chronological order, shouldn't we? So this over here, like all these houses and stuff, I slowly extended them out over time. But otherwise, I had originally designed this area over here with just a tiny bit of houses. And because it didn't really have that many houses, I, of course, called it Tiny Town. That's what I called this area. And of course, after a while, I kind of set up my own personal goal to stretch it out and out and out because I always thought, man, this would be so cool if it was like a whole big area that we could kind of explore and stuff like that. So eventually I ended up constructing over here, which that's kind of like the garden area. Not that I've ever had to grow anything for quite some time. Although whenever I'm growing steed feed and stuff like that, you know, we can always hide it in there. But otherwise, another thing too, I just want to point out, as you can see some of these signs, over time, I am dedicating most of, if not all of these houses towards other players that are randomly picked, like through lotteries and stuff like that in the videos or either through streams and stuff like that. But as you can see over here, I started expanding it out, put a little Canadian flag because, you know, represent, right? Because I'm Canadian. A polar bear, caboose, maple syrup, stuff like that. And then over here, I started to try and experiment with a little bit of terraforming. I kind of changed it so that there was a bit more water flowing through the area because I love using like water effects and stuff like that and just kind of making an area feel like it's like moving, even though there's not really anything going on over here, you know? And then I kind of put like, I guess it's an unofficial hot spring, but not necessarily, kind of like a natural hot spring, even though we constructed it ourselves, but who cares? Then there's also the turtle house over here and another house right up here. I just kind of experimented with different types of houses as well as different colors. You can see this one's purple, red, and just trying to break up the pattern. But as you see, as I got over here, I kind of got, I wouldn't say lazy, but I started getting a little bit more consistent with the houses and their colors and stuff, because with the tiny town being on such a grand scale, as you can see here with all these other houses and stuff, I kind of needed to make them a bit more consistent. That said, some of the houses are like 2 stories up and other ones just kind of have a little bit of like, this is a tiny one, this one's got a taller roof, and they just kind of have a little bit of variance in all of them while all being very, very similar. And then over here, of course, we got another flowing area. This is a different lake river that kind of connects out here, and I always wanted to put a bathhouse right here, but I didn't get around to doing that, so instead I ended up constructing a pathway instead. And then over here, this was actually constructed by the mighty Joe once upon a time. He had this fountain here, and it was kind of surrounded, and then I ended up kind of just destroying the wall that he had and just kind of using it as a centerpiece for the town. And I also thought that I should probably put the water and stuff like that, I should probably have going out into the other lake area, but that's okay. You know, I kind of like the way it is right now. Now, unfortunately, this is primal green. And that is because we can't actually put any normal grass down here because of something blocking out the sun right there. We'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, this actually leads to the Mighty Joe's Club World, the Glim Gods too, which I haven't checked out in quite a while, but it's kind of cool. I also put this secret house here. This house I was constructing for quite some time before I actually got it to be finished. And this was my first experimental house using these shoji as the windows. And it's pretty cool using them. You can't really see it in the video, but you can kind of just barely see through these. Like, they are actually transparent blocks. And anyway, I kind of set up a couple things. I am the Fallen Dragon PJ King. Scythe put me here beside all this gross fish. Hashtag salty tears, you know? Just kind of funny stuff that I snuck in and everything like that. We'll go over there in a minute, because first we're gonna get back over here. This was a lava area. This was kind of a pit of despair where you could just jump in and let yourself die by the lava if you were disappointed at some RNG. But instead, I ended up constructing a house around it. And then if we come back over here, this is the dojo. I was experimenting with making this the new hub, but once it was actually completed, I didn't really feel that it was appropriate for a new hub because, you know, I guess I'm kind of traditional like that, where I like the area that we have. I like the familiarity of what we've actually already got. So I didn't really want to end up swapping the area. Scythe actually did had a big part to play in this hub area right here. He actually constructed most of the side area and stuff. So it's kind of like the lunar dojo, which I've kind of, since this time, I've turned it into the Dragon Pajama HQ within Team Pixel. The other floors themselves are not exactly that detailed. That's the thing, is I kind of had a little bit of trouble designing the inside of it, I will admit. That's another big reason why I didn't really want to make this end up being the other hub. And as you can see, this actually used to be the old trophy hut, which it isn't so much anymore. And up here, I actually had once upon a time an Eye of Cthulhu, although it's kind of a little bit different in its design. And that's kind of what I'm referencing for the season 2 of the story, because I always had an idea with the story where I wanted to introduce like Cthulhu and stuff, because I love the mythos of like all of that story and everything like that. You should play the game Call of Cthulhu if you're into it as well. It's absolutely awesome. A little bit of a painting over here. Oh yeah, there's also the Lego brick. And then up here, lots of people don't seem to know, but this was actually the first evil chicken that I threw in Team Pixel as soon as I constructed this dojo. So it was a very long time ago, and I actually had planned all along to bring in the evil chickens and all of that stuff. Jub, of course, wasn't in the game yet, so it kind of just went around and kind of ended up working out to our advantage. But I did end up, like, I had full intention of bringing in the evil chickens to be like the secret. First, I think they were going to be the leader of the pinatas, but then we kind of moved into the doge and stuff like that. Then up here, we've actually got, let me see if I can find a way to get up here. There's an air gust right up here. We'll go to Exiled Ace's area. It's kind of his mobile hub area, which I guess I should definitely, I didn't even think to put a portal up here. I really should. I also probably should have put one in Bowser as well, just to kind of let people go there a little bit more. But this build is absolutely fantastic. You know, he ended up building a airship in Team Pixel 4 that was just amazing, man. And as soon as I saw it, found out he did it, I gave him officer right there on the spot. And then even in when he said, I want to build something like a big airship in Team Pixel, then like Team Pixel 1, I gave him officer. He constructed this and he kind of quit right after. So it's a very awesome build. You should check it out. We're not going to go into too much detail about like the specifics of builds or anything like that, but it's still very neato. So I guess let's just go over into, well, I guess we'll go into the Fey biome right here, because this was actually one of the next things. This was actually constructed by Snakeshot and Red oh man, I forget his name. He quit a long time ago. But this was like Snakeshot Village or whatever, and they were constructing it with my brother, Johnny Captain Napkin. I forget who was constructing this flask area, but I kind of went through here one day, like more recently, I kind of have been going through because I plan to do this world tour for quite some time now for episode 300. And because of that, I went through most of these areas, and I kind of, as you can see, like I straightened out the terrain, used the bulldozer, and kind of fixed everything up and blasted it all apart to make it a little bit more consistent. Fixed up a lot of the builds because a lot of them ended up being griefed over time and stuff like that. Although there are still some broken areas in some of these builds, but either way, we've got a castle up over here, which is a little bit inconsistent with its sizing, but it's still very cool. I like it. Red Ninja, that was his name. Cool. All right. His outfit icon right over there worked out perfectly. Then there's also that little treehouse right over there. And then we got over here, this was constructed by me and, oh, is there a sign? I really hope there's a sign for this build. Anyway, this is Harbor Town. Ah, doesn't look like it. Shoot. So this is Harbor Town. I really wanted to have like a dock, kind of a pirate area down here. Maybe we'll actually end up using this because I am planning on introducing a new pirate faction into our kind of unofficial Trove story and stuff like that. So as you can see, like this area, it's very cool. If I do say so, I constructed a little bit of it, kind of did most of the terraforming, and then I think it was Cubics again or whatever his name was. He ended up constructing most of it. And then over there we have Comments Cove, which we'll deal with that in a minute. Because we actually have like this area is designed very, I like it so much, where the water flows in through that area, which goes to Tiny Town. The water goes out to that area, which we'll get into in a minute. And then it also kind of goes back out there and out of a cave area. And as you can see, like the ceiling kind of ended up being quite destroyed because of Comments Cove. So if we come up into the staircase right here, this ended up working out perfectly. This is kind of where I have an area dedicated for comments of the day and stuff like that, which I started doing in episode 277 only. So it's going to be quite some time before we fill this whole area up. But as you can see right here, we have episode 337 to 397 will fill up this corridor, and so on and so on and so forth until infinitum, I guess. I kind of only have it going up to these last two corridors right here, number 7. But if we do end up ever getting to that many episodes in the Trove series, well, obviously I am going to throw that in there anyway. So let's actually go over into the other areas that are just over here. Oh, goodness gracious. We're going to go into this area right over here. This one was constructed by Yoko and Mighty Joe. That's right. Yoko got, unfortunately, banned from Trove because Trion's automated system is absolutely stupid, where they ended up, their PayPal account got hacked. Somebody ended up buying a bunch of stuff. Then they were like, dude, no, give me my money back. And then Trion Worlds, they bought stuff in Trove with their hacked PayPal account. And PayPal's actually really good, where if you tell them that something was hacked, they'll usually like refund you your money and sort everything out and stuff like that, right? Or not refund, they take your money back. And Tryon, you know, was like, they just ban him instantly because they think that he's trying to cheat their system despite the explanation. So anyways, over here, that's cool. That's right. Yoko was actually the first person to give me electric wings. So that was really neat, because that was back at the time where it was a big deal. This house is very plain. I do plan to add some stuff into it eventually, but not necessarily right now. And then over there, we'll get into that in a minute, because first I wanted to come over here and just kind of show you this farmland area that I've got under construction. So that's a lot of grass. I've always wanted to experiment with something like this, see whether or not it ended up looking good. And I ended up constructing a windmill right here, which I'm quite satisfied with how it turned out. You know what it is, so I like it. And it's very neato. We'll go over there in a minute, because that over there is going to be the PvP area. But I do want to actually touch this right here. That was actually TX's build right there. And this was the build by Cubit. Oh, yeah, so Cubit was the dude that was building most of the stuff I was referencing. This was his area, and this area was, like, I think architects, so lots of people. Here's one of the tips when you're starting a new club, is if you have a biome set up with glowing blocks and stuff like that, and you have the biomes open, people are just gonna steal stuff, especially the glowing blocks, because they cost a lot of resources for new players to craft. But then anyway, if we come up to here, this is so cool. I love air balloons and stuff like that, and I just wish that we could do something a little bit more with it. But we've got the SS Hot Dog dedicated to ScythePlays. I forget who made this one. There's no sign. But we got a balloon right here, and a little bit of a jumping spot right here. Not exactly sure where it was supposed to go, but hey, whatever. We can see the Golden Kigurumi airship over there anyways. And if we come over here, looks like we can actually come into this tree. Huh, that's kind of neat. So if we come over to here, we've got a bit of a new area being constructed. I guess we should, yeah, we'll look at this and then we'll look at the undead area, because otherwise I'm just gonna go in circles. Is this a trophy of me? No, it's the fire pirate. Constructed by Majestic Butterfly, and he's got someone else's trophy. All right, that's cool. I actually haven't seen this house, and it seems like he put an M on it for McDonald's. No, for Majestic Butterfly, so that's really neat. It took me a long time also to construct this pathway going through here, but it seems like it was a good decision, because now people have started, like the other architects have started to come over here and start constructing stuff. What is this? Built by Dynamite the Great, which is cool because I love treehouse designs too. This maze over here, the Labyrinth of Lost Souls, was constructed by Johnny, and who else constructed this? Scrawly Gamer. Oh, mostly Scrawly Gamer. I think Johnny was just kind of there for moral support or something. And then over here, we got a lot of these weird flowers. But this is Lord Badoof's house. Very, very cool build. You can actually go into the well. There's also that secret cave right there. But we'll go into that another time. Actually, you know what? We'll actually come over to this Fey area in a little bit, because let's actually go to the Undead biome, because I want to show you all some of this stuff that's been constructed over here. These houses are new to me. I haven't actually seen them. Also, this weird new grass too, which is kind of strange. Seems like someone's also constructing something inside this cave, which is very, very neat. I love secret passages and stuff like that. That's always so cool. Looked like there was something in the waterfall. Is this Lord Badoof again? Oh no, this is Zingman's temple. That's right. So this is Zingman's temple. Seems like he's going for a kind of deserty type of Arabian castle. I hope I got that right. Arabian, is that what this type of castle would be? I don't know. It's the type from Aladdin, which is very, very neato. And then we've actually got a couple more airships up there. This is Fey Castle, which kind of looks like a giant bouncy castle. It's really cool. I like it. And this one's being constructed by Mario. It doesn't seem like there's any air gust to get up there, but there does seem to be staircase over here, so we'll actually go up there in a minute. Over here, I think this is a house by the Unfriendly Lion. I think he was building this kind of as a testing house, but it kind of looks like a witch's house or a candy house, which, I mean, as you can see in its design, like it's very similar to the ones that we had in the candy biome near spawn. But we'll get into that in a bit because we still haven't gone over there. Looks like his castle's almost done. I actually really like that. So this is more airships. Oh, the lag is real. Here it comes. More of Zingman and Lord Badoof's airships. Very, very cool. I like stuff like this, especially how they're all kind of near each other and connected and everything. That's very, very neat. Yeah, I guess we'll go into the undead biome and we'll go back over there in a bit. So over here, the biome generation for the undead is very, very messy, as you can see. I've got this area set up. I kind of want to set up a bit of a lake down here, but we'll do that in a little bit. As for right now, I kind of wanted to, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this undead area, but I like how other people have started designing stuff. Like over here, we've got, I think this is Luix's build. Yeah, it's Luix, aka Louis Skaja Gaming from YouTube. So he's actually got this house right here. It's another type of dojo, which is very, very cool. I love the fact that we've ended up making these types of houses like very, very popular in this game, you know, because I just love the style of it. And I just love the fact that everybody else is building them. And then if we actually come down here, seems like he tried desperately not to harm this. This is Clichés' little secret cave area. Very, very awesome secret build. I absolutely love it. I even left a sign telling him that I really like it because it reminds me of a Draconis town. It's like so cool, man. I just really, really like it. So over here, oh, there's not really anything over here. That's right. I was just doing some heavy terraforming because there was lots of really messed up areas over here. I got kind of set up these pathways so that they do end up going over to that castle over there and everything like that. Over here, you can see it seems like someone's actually constructing a house. This, I very much want to be a little bit of a town right here. I very, very much do, because as soon as you jump down this well, Magnum PI 44 ended up constructing the Doge Mercenary secret area down here, which is very, very neato. I really like it. I also like that secret like upside down type of house. It kind of looks like it's creeping out like a kind of dark world type of thing. I have a portal coming down into here if you want to end up exploring it. Lots of people just keep spamming me. I'm recording, dudes. Like, seriously. So if we end up coming down here, oh, I just saw Total on. I thought he quit. Weird. So if we come over here, because otherwise this is getting a little bit further away from everything. Actually, you know what? No, we do have portals, so we will actually go to those in a minute. I was going to go to the PvP arenas, but instead, let's actually go back over to the Rainbow Bridge that was constructed by Joe and Key. See this field, how it's all empty and stuff like that? That's why I want to kind of fill it up with farmlands and stuff, because I think it'll be a very easy way of filling up the area while making it kind of feel like a bit more alive and feel like it's something a little bit different than some of the other stuff that we already have. What is this? I don't know what that is, but anyway, if we come up here, the Rainbow Bridge, because Joe actually used to have a rainbow pyramid over there, then he put it over here, kept getting griefed over and over, and well, now Joe's an officer, so GG. And if you come up here, this would have taken like such a long time to make. They constructed, this is like so cool, man. I absolutely love this, like seriously. This is actually two pyramids. There's one on the top and one on the bottom, mirroring it exactly, and then they also have the water in here. This is just there's something about it that just looks great. Like, I just love it, you know? And then we've got these glass houses over here, which is constructed of the same glass on the ground, which is very, very cool as well. I just really like this build. I like these cloud houses. I wish there was some type of generation like that in the normal adventure worlds and stuff. And then again, we've got these reverse pyramids. Very, very trippy. Absolutely love it. I'm actually not going to climb through there because then we can't actually get out. But over here, we've got a little bit of a speedboat vehicle type of thing, which is constructed by... No, we don't seem to see a sign for it. And unfortunately, I forget who done it. But if we come down here... That is a big castle. I actually like this moat that he's constructing too. I didn't notice that. That's neat. So if we come down here to this bridge, this actually goes over, we'll go over into the water areas in a little bit of a moment here, but we're gonna come over here, and this was designed by Ragekill Key, and oh, I hope there's other signs that say who did it, but this is like Jurassic World area for pinatas. So it's so cool. It's so funny. Like, I really like this area. You come over here. Do they have signs? Refreshments and snacks. Something about hot dogs. No, it doesn't seem like they have anything. Unless these signs say who done it. Key, Joe. Max the Spaz was involved as well. Key again. Rage Kill. Oh, Lord Scythe in total actually did stuff. Okay. And then Kind Cheer for Landville and Fatal, who ended up leaving too. That's right. Okay, coolness. So if you come over here, there's like a skeleton. We've got, they have a pinata Jurassic Park logo. We got a frozen pinata right here encased in ice. We've got a fountain over here. And then, well, we'll get into that in a minute because it's absolutely awesome. But we've actually got over here, I think this is so cool. It's like an underwater, like a kind of, I guess, a giant burrito. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, but it is an aquarium. Unfortunately, the water, as you saw on glass, doesn't really work out. So I think it would have been better if they ended up laying a layer of glass and then a layer of water over top of it to give the illusion that it was underwater, and then maybe filling the whole area with glass. Or maybe even just nothing, and just kind of making it look like it was underwater. That over there, I don't think is anything. I could be wrong about that. I'm not exactly sure. But then over here, we've got the most impressive thing, this dome, which would have taken them a very long time. And the Pinata Rex, which is so, so cool. Seriously. This seems to be, like, I kind of like this because it kind of reminds me of like a terrarium. I think that's what it's called, right? Where it's like props just to make the animal kind of feel at home while not actually being like a stone or anything. And you can actually climb inside his mouth or in his head or something like that. And you can actually go out of his butt, which is really hilarious. There's a bunch of secrets in there, which I won't spoil, so you can check it out for yourself. But otherwise, yeah, let's go into the water area right now. But you know what? Speaking of water, we're on like half an hour right now, as says my timer. So I'm going to take a quick little break right here and get myself a glass of water. All right, I feel a lot better. Thank you for waiting 0.5 seconds, because this is gonna be a long video. We're not even like halfway here, so it's gonna be a long one. Anyway, down here we've got a cute little pirate ship, which for some reason seems to have a little bit of a dock. I'm not sure if that's a grief or something. There's also lots of secrets underwater, which I don't necessarily know what all of them are. So if I miss some builds, which I am guaranteed going to end up missing some builds anyway, so yeah, just a heads up, folks. Anyway, down over here, we've got Scrawly Gamer and Ragekill's little island. I think it was made by them. And I actually really like this build. I love this little tropical island outpost. You know, they got lots of milk and drinks and crackers and Oreos and stuff. And then over here, we got the volleyball arena, which doesn't really work out because these goals are a bit too... They're a bit too big, I guess. So anytime you throw a volleyball over, it just usually lands over here, breaks, and that's it. And then we've got the stands over here, which used to be a lot bigger and a little bit more impressive. But of course, they ended up getting griefed once upon a time. Then we've got some stuff over there, which we will get into in a minute. But first, let's go over to these battleships. I also love this little Bowie right here. Yes, I say Bowie because of David Bowie. Love that guy. Over here, we've got Magnum PI's beautiful ship thing. I think this was one of the last builds that she ended up making before I actually promoted her to officer, and she earned it, man. Like she's been around for such a long time. She actually very much applied herself for like the clubs and everything like that. Then over here, I'm not sure who designed this one. I really hope there's a sign because this was designed a very long time ago. I'm not sure if it was Scrawly or someone else, but it took a very long time for this one to get finished. And I think the player who was designing it, oh, V-Slayer MC. Yeah, I don't think he's around anymore. I think he ended up quitting as well. But you can actually go through most of the base. It's very, very neato. And then we've got a little submarine down here, which is kind of neat. And this was designed by, I forget who it was. I think it was Luix. Maybe it was somebody else. I'm not exactly sure. But they didn't leave a sign down there, so rip. Then over here, you can kind of see as it's coming into the distance here, man, we need to go a little bit faster. But there's a little bit of a skull cave right up there, and that actually goes back into Pirate Cove. That other opening right up there goes into our comment section. Then down here, this I designed a long time ago just for kicks. I wanted to design an underwater build. This is kind of like the Legion of Doom, you know, from DC and stuff. So you can actually come into here. I came here a long time ago. And noticed that somebody actually came in here and stole like half of the props. So since then I sealed it up because I am the secret baby. I actually used to have like a baby prop in there, and it was kind of just like a for fun, like, can you find out what happened thing? And somebody ended up coming through here and griefing it also. That's another reason why we don't promote that many people. So over here we got a man-made island, obviously because of the primal green little tropical tree that I experimented with. And this was just kind of when fishing first came out. I ended up constructing this, and then over here we've got a little bit of a sewer area, which is kind of neat. We don't need to really go in there. And then there's a little baby cove right up there, which is kind of funny too, so you should check that out. Then this over here, oh, who designed this? I think this might have been V-Slayer again. No, this was Lord of Mordor or something like that. I forget his username, but he constructed most of this and then he kind of left. So you're gonna notice like a lot of inconsistencies with the build. That's because I kind of constructed the rest of it myself while not necessarily trying to make it like, I didn't try to go all out to try and finish the build or anything. I just wanted to have it finished because I just didn't like the fact that it was sitting there unfinished for such a long time, including like all the sails and stuff. Down here, we've actually got a little secret cave, which is kind of funny. You should check out the sign as well. You can go into the ship and stuff like that as well, but we're not going to deal with that. We got a little bit of a target zone right here. There used to be mini targets. Now there's just a big target. Oh, there's the mini targets. I think this is Squishy. Oh, Squishy Marmon. Okay, that's right. Then we've got a kind of heart dragon, another little house right over there. And then as we come up here, we've got a robot, which is kind of neato. And this bridge, I still haven't really touched, although I've always wanted to. I wanted to make this kind of a bridge, like with houses on it. As you can see, I kind of laid a little bit of the foundation out on it. This is kind of a build that I did once upon a time in, I don't know if I did it in my Minecraft series, but I did it in Minecraft in general. So yeah, but anyway, now we've got this dragon right here, because Rage Kill kind of confiscated it. And then we've got a little bit of a biome over here that leads into, this is supposed to be like, I guess, the dragon biome. And it's got like dragon eggs all over the place, you know, just kind of secret stuff just for fun. Like this was kind of near when the dragon patches came out, so everyone was really hyped about them. And then we'll get into Candyland in a bit, but as for right now, wow, this is being designed like crazy. I like this. This is sick. That's cool. So this was architect area. And this was Magnum PI's, another build of hers. This was the library, we call it, a cool build that I very much like. It doesn't look like that house down there has been constructed into anything. There used to be a tropical island area out here, but it seems like somebody might have griefed it, or maybe accidentally griefed it with one of the biome placements, because that was back when, you know, it was very confusing putting down biomes and stuff. But anyway, we've got this town being built over here. I'm pretty sure this is it Majestic Butterfly and Dynamite? And Wallow. I know Wallow's involved as well. Mario involved. Who else do we got here? Mario again. This is the town hall. Made by Wallow and Dynamite. Maybe, yeah, okay. Dynamite the Great. Wallow. Okay, so either way, they're actually constructing this town over here. And I mean, if you guys are watching this, keep building, because I very much like what I'm seeing. Ooh. and an air area too. This is kind of neat. I like this. I like stuff like that. I like the colors that they're using too, because that's why I like this town. Because you don't usually see towns kind of built like this. It's a bit of, like, it's using modern colors while being very unique houses, which is kind of neat. And I love that UFO that's right up there. Aliens. Hashtag Area 51. I like it. See the dragons? That's why this was getting all hyped. So this area was going to be like a dragon zone by Squishy Marmon and Ragekill, but didn't really end up coming to pass. So instead, well, here it all is anyway. And this was going to be like the big dragon hall. Ragekill was kind of going for a Skyrim type of thing, but as you can see, he constructed a very cool roof, but the house itself never ended up getting finished. This one was designed by, oh, there's a sign. Mega Midnight. That's another person. I knew he was involved over here. Then there was this flux area and a dragon and a king hot dog, which is kind of neat. And this is designed by, I don't know why, it's L to the Leroy, yeah. So he was constructing this. Doesn't seem like he ended up finishing it for some reason. I also ended up very recently, like after he built that, I kind of gave him officer, and I guess he kind of just got like distracted with that and started actually designing some other stuff. So if we come to over here, we can see this was going to be like Ragekill was designing a kind of a hot dog HQ-ish thing. So this was going to be like a barrier force field thing, which was very neat. And it seems like it's been destroyed since the war. You can actually go inside and there's a little bit of a cave down there and stuff like that. And I actually designed a secret entrance over there to another area. And then Ragekill kind of just stole it and made it lead all the way up to into this area, which was cool. This was also, I think this was Valor Warrior's first actual build in Team Pixel. So this, you know, right away impressed me because he does modern houses like very, very well. It's very, very cool. You should check it out as well. Then if we come over here, this was once upon a time the member area. That's why it's kind of a knick-knack of stuff, but then it started getting griefed and then started getting like very offensive stuff started getting put in here. So of course we had to close off the biome. Maybe we'll end up opening it up again, but it's Team Pixel. So, you know, we got like so many people coming in and out of the clubs that the area member areas just get like so filled up. Seriously. Got an Illuminati triangle right there. I think that's what that's supposed to be. A little bit of a fountain, gold pinata. This was a bit of a quest throughout the club where you would kind of follow a bunch of hidden signs and stuff like that. But unfortunately, someone seemed to have stolen them all, which is very unfortunate. This over here, I think, was Scrawly Gamer. I think this is actually a really cool platforming area. You start over there and you can get your way all the way up to the top with only 2 jump. And of course, try not to touch the spikes for hard mode, but you can do easy mode and just touch the spikes anyway. And then on this side, Team Pixel as well. And a little bit of a flag up top. Then we got a little bit of a man-made tree. This actually is fully man-made. This tree was not there before, which is neat. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, although I do actually kind of like it. And then over here, we've got a second Candyland, like Candy Town type of thing, because there's the main one that's, you know, by the hub. And then we've got this one over here, which I don't know. It seems like some of it's been designed a little bit more, but not so much. This was designed by Mega Midnight Fall. Yes, that's right. Very, very cool build. I like it. We should... We did have a portal out here, but it looks like one of the architects ended up stealing it, so someone's cruising for a kick. I'm gonna try and figure that out afterwards, because that's a big no-no, especially when you can construct those portals like so easily, because anyone caught stealing stuff is just, you're out, man, like seriously. So anyway, if you come over here to the desert area, which hasn't been constructed that much, there was a cookie face here. Somebody ended up griefing. This was griefed on purpose. Like this was meant to be like a Pinata Ruins type of thing. And then as we come over here, this is the like desert town, I guess, which hasn't really been constructed that much. I think this was Yoko and I forget who else, but this kind of, what do you call it? Like the milk bar. Oh, hey, Valor. This area ended up getting deconstructed once upon a time. Joe and Yoko. Okay, I think that was Mighty Joe again, not Nintendo Joe. But anyway, I think there was, yeah, I actually once upon a time hit a Cubesley down there too for the Cubesley hunt. Very, very cool. I always like desert towns and stuff like that, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be very popular and nobody really constructed it. Also, I had to kind of seal off most of these biomes because people kept coming around and griefing. However, I will open them up kind of after I do this video probably. And if we come over here, we got all these bridges and stuff. That pathway, I don't think it leads to anything, but I did want it to. Somebody was designing a wing course up there once upon a time, but not anymore. And then over here, I guess we'll go into the neon biome next, but we've got, I just designed this house just kind of messing around to try and see if I could do a cowboy theme. Then we've got this ride where you jump over here, go up the mag rail, and you go up there to the Vile Scallywag. That was actually Scythe's first build back when we didn't know who Scythe was, and he kind of made a name for himself by actually constructing that, because that was also back when the club didn't really have that much to its builds and stuff. If you go down into here, I'm not really going to show it because that place is kind of a bit of a maze, but we've kind of got a little bit of an underground dwarven area, which was being designed by Johnny and a couple other people, my brother, and they were going to make it like kind of spread across, like going throughout the entire club, which I think would have been awesome to have an underground city like throughout the entire club with underground builds and stuff. That would have been great, but unfortunately, because of the complexity of the build, I mean, it just doesn't work. So over here, normally there was a 1 block space, and you could ninja dash into it or use a Fey Trickster's teleport ability to go into a 1 block area. Devs, for some weird reason, thought that that was a bug that needed fixing, so they removed it, despite lots of people, myself included, using it for builds and secret areas and stuff like that. So eventually I had to construct this entrance over here. It's not really in the open, unfortunately, but it kind of had to be right there because there wasn't a lot of space to deal with. And this is the Pinata HQ, so we do actually have a portal coming into here anyway, the blue one, which is from the spawn area. This area was constructed by Scythe, Joe, Key, Valor Warrior. Lots of people were involved with building this area. And I actually kind of came through here recently because I wanted to open up the area and make this area a little bit more open to people coming in. So I kind of, as you can see, like I've changed a little bit of it. Well, I guess as you can see, this might be your first time seeing it, right? I've changed it up quite a bit. I lowered the amount of props because Scythe loves using props, which is fine. But lots of people lag out and get a lot of frame rate issues with too many props because Trove is not very optimized. So I kind of tried to dumb down the props as much as I could while still keeping the actual raw build intact. And you can actually use this area as a hub. It would be very neat if you could set up your own custom spawn points in club worlds and stuff. I think that would be neato. Then over here, we've got, this was High Lord Jash, that's right, from Once Upon a Time. Constructed all of the stuff in this neon biome, which was great. He constructed a TV, but somebody ended up griefing the front of it because they didn't know that you could go into here. It's kind of like a puppet show type of thing that you can set up. We also got a little Tetris over here. There's also a secret inside there. If you get into the back, then there's a house over here and so on and so forth. Very, very cool stuff, man. Like I like a lot of these builds. They're actually very neat and very unique too. Like that's the other thing that I just love about it, you know? I think, yeah, over there, that's actually just a big empty PvP biome. I haven't constructed it into anything yet, but I'm hoping to turn it into like a 1v1 area or something. Over here, this was a member area once upon a time too. Somebody ended up building here, then it ended up getting griefed. That is not a cane, that's supposed to be a scythe. But I think the player who made it quit once upon a time. Oh, it's too laggy to get up there. Sorry. Down here, actually, we'll go up over here first. Hello, Purple. So over here, we've got, I forget who constructed these. I think they have a sign. Yes, they do. Good. This was supposed to be... Enderboy ended up constructing this. This is supposed to be like the Lunar Lancer's ultimate ability where he throws the spear in the ground. I like warm hugs. Larry, who is it? I am awesome and Wallow. Oh, just Wallow, I guess. Ooh, a Jub head by Enderboy. That's sick. I didn't know they constructed that. That's so cool, man. So anyway, if we go over here too, oh, it's actually been developed a bit more. This is sick, man. We got a little bit of a snow village going on over here. I very much like this. I hope this sign says who did it, because that's really neat. Oh. Snow forts made by cliches. Nope, this is not a PvP arena, just made it for fun. Yeah, that would actually be awesome as a PvP arena. It really, really would. So over here is the area that, we're not really gonna go in here. Somebody opened it. I'm gonna have to seal this up. I don't know who opened that. I don't know why they did that, because this area is supposed to be all blocked off. This is the area that I use for patch judgment. Magnum actually constructed the area, and that's like her kicking circle for kicking people out of the club and stuff like that when they start being naughty, and just when she's, you know, goes in there and starts kicking old members and stuff like that. Big shout out to all the officers, because they helped me out with that a lot. You know, kicking people that have been 20 days offline, because, you know, we always like to rotate and invite more people and more people. This is the Rage Mist tree, which was constructed mostly by Rage Kill in time for, like, the Christmas event and stuff like that. We were actually setting this up as the Christmas hub. And at the time, we actually had this set up for, like, I don't know, we were going to set it up for the entire month. For some weird reason, I thought that that would work, but it's not cool enough. It's an awesome build, but it's not cool enough as a hub. As you can see, like, the colors are kind of ugly and they kind of hurt and stuff like that. So maybe next year, if we end up using it, we'll just use it for like the last week or something. There's lots of goblins around and lots of pizza hidden around as well. I guess before we go into that cave area, we should go over here. Well, we don't need to go over there, because that's actually just the office PvP map, and we'll get into the PvP maps in a bit. A bunch of big presents scattered around and stuff like that, and then we'll get into that build in a little minute. That's by Ruiker, and I don't know who's building that one, but that's very impressive. I like it. Down over here, this was actually one of my favorite ice builds once upon a time, although this player ended up quitting. I forget who it was. Dedicated to Captain Napkin. I don't know who made this. Well, anyway, this temple ended up getting grief by the biomes that we generated. But down over here, this is like a very cool, because it's like an abandoned ice town. And I really like it because of that. This town has been abandoned since the ice came. Yeah, I really like the way that it looks, you know, with the colors and stuff like that. It just works out very, very well. But anyways, we're going to end up going over here. I'm not sure what that eye is supposed to be. Rage Kill constructed another weird little present area down here, which I kind of like. It's very, very cool. And then over here, I think this is Ruiker's cave. I'm not exactly sure. I really hope there's a sign in here. I'm probably shouting out all the wrong people, but it's okay, because most of them have ended up quitting a long time ago. But you can actually kind of walk through this area, and I think... yeah, you can actually walk all the way back up to here. You can't always just jump it yourself. And then I kind of sectioned this area off just because I had this extra stuff. But also, this is where I've been putting PvP trophies of just random people and stuff. A bunch of extra props that I didn't really use. And of course, you cannot forget our trophy room, which I'm going to have to extend this out and make a couple extra walls and stuff like that, because as you can see, we've actually filled this area out. And I want to say thank you to everybody for that, because I wouldn't have been able to fill this area out without all of the help that I ended up getting from tons of people. But I have this area very, very far away from the spawn, because it's so many prop items and stuff. It's just going to drain everyone's frame rate like crazy. So anyway, let's go over into this area now. We will go back into Candyland in a little bit. We'll probably end up finishing up over there, maybe. But these houses I ended up constructing, trying to do something a little bit different. As you can see, this is kind of like my cake house. This tower was constructed by Johnny, Captain Napkin, and then over here, I haven't really finished this area. Somebody else can always take over and just kind of add houses in here. But I was trying to kind of construct like a contrasting evil town that would be opposite of Tiny Town. This was before I extended Tiny Town out, of course. And then over here, we've got lava runners, where the whole point of this game is to try and get through it with at least 2 jumps. But if you want to do hard mode, you can try to get through it with just 1 jump. I've constructed it so that you can actually get all the way to the top of that tower with just 1 jump. Then over here, we've got, I forget whose house this is, but it ended up getting griefed a lot. Like, this was a heavy grief area over here, and it's got a couple club portals in there that lead to another club that was very, very cool, but ended up getting grief by tons of people. There used to be a big, beautiful volcano here, but it got wrecked by the PvP biome that we generated. This was Ruiker's build over here. Very, very cool. As far as I know, he's gone now. So I don't know if he's still around. Dedicated to a little bit of a dance party, because I had a ton of people just secretly dancing here while this place was being constructed. Very, very cool. He dedicated it to the Tomb Raiser in his own style and stuff, and I just really, really like it. You know, it's a very neato spot. You can actually go into the basement and everything like that. Again, I wish that we could have multiple hubs in a club. That would be really, really cool to have like different factions within one club world. You know, that would just be so neat. So we got a graveyard and stuff like that, and then as we come over here, because I want to take a peek at this, because I have actually never seen this build up close. I saw it back when it was just the floor, not when it was any of this stuff, which is very impressive and very cool. This is being designed by Ali Reynos, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on him, because this is neat, man. This is very cool. This is This is so sick. I don't know if there's an official way to get up to the top right here, but thankfully we do have enough jump for it. And then there seems to be another UFO type of thing up there, which I think it's inconsistent on purpose too, which is really, really neat. I really like it, man. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I like all the rune stuff too, because we don't really have anything like that. Then as we come over here, I think this is just getting into the PvP biome. So that might actually be it as far as... Yeah, you know what? We might just have the PvP biomes and then the Candyland biome. And then, oh yeah, then there's the secret island as well. So we will get into that. But down over here, we've actually got the PvP biome that was created by Valor. I helped a little bit, but mostly it was just him. He ended up constructing Hot Dog City right here. Very, very cool. You know, we've kind of like, I helped him out a little bit, just mostly with like, oh yeah, you should probably put a power up over here and stuff like that. But otherwise the building, that's all him. And you know, this is just such a cool map because I've always thought like a PvP map on a little city area would end up being a lot, very, very cool. I think it would be great if we could have fit in a couple extra buildings and stuff, but unfortunately there's just not really that much space for this area. Where is our PvP portal? Where's the PvP portal? Seriously, who's been moving all the ports? Did somebody come in here and steal all this stuff? I don't think so, unless an officer's being naughty. That's bad, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take another... Oh, there's the portals over here. Okay, phew. Jeez, looks like somebody actually moved them over here. So yeah, okay, good. Anyway, now we can actually just take this portal, and it's just, you just take this portal right here, and I have a sign right here that says you're going to the mine PvP map, CS office, the dojo, giant kitchen, hot dog city, and then back to the hub. So of course the first one, this one's being constructed by Magnum, and who else is helping with this? I wish there was a sign, but I'm not sure. But this is going to be another type of PvP map. Very, very neat because I've never seen any PvP map like this where it's very, very cluttered with trees. This forest must be like so tedious, seriously. And then, of course, we've got, this one's just the CS office map that I ended up constructing, which is from Counter-Strike, of course. Had a lot of help with this one. I mean, you already all know, like, I don't really need a tour of that because you can end up checking out. I've got 3 videos of me actually constructing the map, so you can check those out. Then we've got what I call the dojo, just because it's easy to call it that rather than the Kigurumi versus Pinata and stuff, because we actually got both sides. This was kind of the first PvP map that we ever made, and I had a lot of help by tons of the other people, of the other officers with this one. And then, you know, kind of like once the map was actually finished, like I kind of went through it and cleared everything up and kind of cleaned it all up. So, I mean, you've all seen this map, and you can always check, like I do have a video that actually tours this map, and it kind of explains it in a little bit more detail. Also, here's the giant kitchen map, which actually got highlighted on a Trove post by the devs that was highlighting a bunch of other club PvP maps and stuff like that. This one's one of my favorites, seriously. I knew while I was constructing this that this one was just going to end up being cool, but my goodness gracious, did it take a long time to create. Speaking of Bowser, the Sky Whale, that's what I mean. After I constructed Bowser, the Sky Whale, I knew, okay, I knew what I was in for when I was constructing this map. That said, this one ended up taking the cake as one of the most time-consuming builds because, I mean, look at those walls. That's a lot of blocks. There's thousands of blocks in here, millions maybe. And then we're back at Valor's place, and then back at the hub. So we will end up going into this Candyland over here, and then I gotta try and remember the secret island. I almost forgot to. We didn't actually go into here. This is the portal house. This house is highlighting some of the special portals and some of the really cool club worlds and stuff like that, as well as I got signs that are around. That one's blank. I got signs around just to kind of highlight some of the clubs and areas and stuff like that. And then this area is just kind of all the clubs that we can handle. Looks like one of them ended up getting deleted or something. And then a club that ends up getting highlighted, or supposed to be highlighted. Magnum was managing that, but I don't know if she's still doing that. But either way, we got lots of club portals in here. Seems like it's filled up, so I might have to extend that out at some point. Over here, I was trying to make a different type of house, kind of like a seaside house, I guess, although it doesn't really fit being right there. I still enjoy the way that looks. The other thing too that's very important that I love doing with all my builds is making pathways to everything so that you can kind of explore it all on yourself, you know? So anyway, we go over here. Excuse me. My goodness gracious. And this is the graveyard. This is full of players that are not around and not amongst us anymore. They all like quit or anything like that. Exiled Ace, Giradescent was abducted by aliens. I put a bunch of funny stuff. King Andredo quit for a long time. Cheerful Anvil and just a bunch of other graves and stuff like that. For lots of people that have been quitting lately because of all the pay to win that's been going on with Trove, just not to mention people getting tired of the game and stuff like that. And then over here, the Unfriendly Lion ended up constructing most of this. Well, I'll say we went halvesies, because he actually constructed this first house right here, which I very much like the design of his houses. I like the way that he builds, man. And then I kind of just referencing that house, trying to keep it in theme, I ended up constructing these other candy houses because I wanted to fill up the area. And I think I did a pretty good job capturing his style of build with these houses. And then also over here, I experimented with a candy windmill. This, of course, as you can see, is similar to the other one that I showed you in the farm area, but it's a little bit different in its design, and then it's got like kind of a crop area that I've kind of set up, very much references what I used to do for farmlands in the Minecraft series once upon a time, because that's also where I get a lot of my building skill, because I love building in Minecraft, I do, but it was never really very popular, and thankfully it's been pretty popular in Trove, so rip. And then over on this side of the fence, this side of the water area here, by the way, I do want to mention this just before we get talking about this. As you can see right here, this is kind of like all pink area and stuff like that. You can see how this pink is like really, really obscure and really, really weird, and how some of it's turning into dirt. That is because I cannot actually put grass down here because Bowser's shadow blocks out the grass, and the mimic blocks that they added to the game don't actually work for like they half work. You can have it connect to a grass block and it'll generate a grass block where it generates, like, as you can see right here, like the colors kind of ease into each other a little bit more. This is like the natural biome generation. There's no way to do that outside of planting dirt and waiting for it to grow. But because the dirt operates kind of similar to Minecraft where it needs sunlight to actually like grow up, well, rip this side of the fence because the mimic blocks don't actually work to fill in grass area in shadowed areas, unfortunately. So if we come over here, this is kind of a factory area. That's fine. It all worked out because I wanted this area to be a bit more dead because it's kind of more toxic, you know, and we got like kind of ruined houses and stuff and little robots that are all crying and stuff, and, you know, kind of houses that are kind of like destroyed a little bit and stuff like that. And it seems like somebody else is constructing a little bit of a Mount Joe candy mine. All right, that's kind of weird, but I do kind of like it. I'll have to check that out later. Also, this mountain is dedicated to Joe. That was back when he finished school, because he's been around with the channel and with the with Trove for that long as well. Over here in this biome, we got a little bit of an airship. I think the person's name is on it. Oh, I don't know. I think it was TNT or something like that. I don't really remember. But either way, down there is actually the secret area that you can go through to kind of go into that Hot Dog Alliance area and stuff like that. And then as we come back over here, I'm just looking at the map to make sure that I didn't end up missing anything. I certainly hope that I didn't, although I'm sure that I probably did. There's all sorts of, I know I mentioned it before, but there's all sorts of secret ways to go into the underground zone. Then if we come down into here, normally if you take the Game Breaker kit, oh, I almost forgot that. Yes, I did. So if you come over onto Bowser, this actually isn't going to work because this one goes into his mouth. So we actually got to take this one. Woo! On top of Bowser, I ended up constructing the Hot Dog HQ. This was back when, you know, the hot dog didn't swap over to the Kigurumi. Oh, excuse me, water went down the wrong tube. Funny because my throat is like so dry right now. This is my ice Game Breaker cannon, which works very consistently over our normal Game Breaker cannon, but doesn't actually launch us as far, or doesn't have the potential of launching us as far, because this one over here has kind of variance where it goes like really, really far, and then other times it's not. Also, somebody else actually constructed a huge, sorry I forget the name, they constructed a huge game-breaking cannon where it was just a 2-block area with a ceiling and a bunch of launch pads underneath, and it was like such a long, huge build, and it actually launches you like even further than my Game Breaker cannons. The point of my Game Breaker cannons is that they're small, but I definitely want to end up constructing one of the bigger ones because they're actually very, very easy to construct. You just gotta end up having the space for it. So anyway, this game breaker cannon is very, very inconsistent and very, very laggy. So normally if you get lucky, you would actually end up launching yourself. I don't really want to launch myself right now because I don't want to have to type respawn, because I kind of have the chat like a little bit, the chat's just being a little bit weird for me right now. But I ended up constructing a portal right here instead. The green portal goes to some of the special areas, while the blue portal goes to, I guess, other special areas. So yes, we've got the island. So this is the Pinata area. Then we've got, this is the circle for past judgment. Oh, then we've got the dance club. That's right. Once upon a time, this actually used to be, you used to be able to get down here through the graveyard. And then there was another secret area where you could get down here. But now you just take the blue portal and then you come into the frog's mouth, a little TP logo right here, a little bit of a nightclub. You come in here, Scythe and I constructed this. Scythe made this room for the most part. And then I constructed this room, and it's just our dance club. I know it looks like the Windows sign up there, doesn't it? But there was also another evil chicken in here. I am the evil chicken. I forget if that one was constructed. That might have actually been the first evil chicken, because I think I even made a joke with it in a video too. That's right. Over here I was placing some PvP trophies, but it didn't really work out. That's okay. Doge Mercenary Camp, Dragon Kigurumi Camp, and then of course over here this is the secret island that you can get launched to from the Game Breaker Cannon. Now I've heard that even further out there is another island just at the outreach of the entire club world, but I don't really know how to get there or anything like that. So of course I would have to reference like other people and stuff like that. But I just want to see, because I think that might be it, dudes and dudettes. Yeah, I think that might be it. Yep, that's actually it. So I may have ended up missing a couple things, but if I did, you can always end up exploring it yourself. So of course, this was a long video, and we'll do it again sometime, like way in the future, but I wanted to kind of clue everybody in, because we've had lots of new people coming in on the series and stuff like that, and the fact that we're at episode 300 is absolutely amazing. So thank you all so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. If you enjoyed this club video, you know, just to support me, not to mention having the chance of getting the wings. I know that it's not that big of a prize, considering this video is going to be probably like an hour or something like that, but either way, you can end up winning the chaotic butterfly wings. But also I just very much would appreciate your support to make the video show up in searches and stuff like that by hadoukening the like button, share, favorite, and subscribe to join Team Pixel. Sign on, stay epic, everybody.